And we're live. So welcome everybody to another one of our wonderful AMN Live Q&As. We're so happy to have you here. I have got some amazing people on the call with me today, and I'll let them introduce themselves in just a second. They're all very excited to chat with you. So you could probably see the smiles just beaming on their faces. We would love to get some questions in the chat. I'll talk about that in a minute, but cannot start one of these off with just first thanking all of you, our healthcare professionals, for everything that you do, not just in the past couple of years, but really just in the entirety of your career, and really even choosing this as your career path. We're just so excited to have this opportunity to chat with you, tell you a little bit more about AMN, and answer all of the questions that you have. Today, we're talking about thankfulness and really showing our gratitude to you. So you'll hear a lot of that as we go through our chat here, and just some of the things that we do to make sure we feel supported, or that you feel supported by us, and really the entirety of you. So everything that means and everything that encompasses. So we'll get started in just a second. I would love questions. I'm already seeing some questions in the chat. So thank you, God, Sweet Angel and Theodore, for popping in some questions. We'll get into that in a second. I am going to say, I have a giveaway, which we haven't had in a while, and it's an amazing giveaway. So how this is going to work is pop your question in the chat. Before we finish our stream today, I'm going to pick a winner live, and we'll get your information to get this great package over to you. You guys, I'm like really excited about this. So if you win, you get a Kindle e-reader and a case, a Roku streaming stick, which is critical when you're traveling across the country. You never know what the TV setup's going to be. A Keurig mini coffee, also a critical component of, I think, all of our daily lives. And then a weighted blanket, which is just so comfortable. So all of the things that you need to just pack in the car as you travel, whether it's down the street, as Sarah will talk to us about, or really far away across the country. So any questions in the chat will be entered. So please pop those in there. All right. You all ready to get started? I think so. Well, I will have you introduce yourselves. So as you know, or if you have not joined us, my name is Saundra. I'm one of the divisional vice presidents for our nurse division. And I have with me Charles. Why don't you kick us off, my friend?
Hey, everybody. How's it going? My name's Charles. I've worked at AMN a little over a year now. Came from another company, joined AMN. Love it, love it, love it here. Saundra is awesome, and all the people here are amazing. Got to know them as well. But yeah, that's pretty much me. I'm a senior recruiter here, and just excited to be here. I'm trying to really calm down. This is really exciting.
We're excited to have you, Charles. And Charles is with our travel nurse division, so short-term travel. Let's go to you, Yvonne.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me. I am a senior placement consultant here at AMN, and I've been with the team for over a year. And just like Charles, absolutely loving it. Working with people like him always add to your day, joy, fun. Yeah, everyone's just awesome here, and everyone's in it for the same reason. We're all here to support and advocate for our nurses. So, really enjoying my time here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Yvonne. And last but certainly not least, Miss Sarah B.
Hello, I am Sarah B. Jenkins, and I have been with AMN Healthcare, the Nurse Finders local staffing division, for about 2 years. And I said I was going to turn off all my alarms, and I have so many alarms. I apologize. I am here, and again, like my colleagues, love AMN Healthcare, love the culture, love the people that I'm working with, and the clinicians have been phenomenal. Excited to answer your questions. And
yes. I love it. Well, I'm so good. Yeah, I love it. Yes, ask away, please. I can see your comments coming in, so please throw those in there. We'll answer the first couple in just a second, but you're probably getting a little bit of a sense of the theme here, that we are talking to a lot of different recruiters within our nurse division. So you'll be hearing from the travel side, but also some really cool stuff from home health specifically, and then local. We know that as our clinicians have kind of gone through the past couple of years, there's been a lot that has happened. There's a lot of burnout. There's a lot of just overall kind of emotion that has taken over because of everything that you have seen in the last couple of years. And honestly, a element of PTSD and being able to overcome that. So we're going to talk a little bit of kind of all of these things. But I am going to start with that burnout and clinician feelings piece. So Charles, I know you had kind of talked to us a little bit before about your previous life and some of the things that are really important to you here at AMN. We have our EAP program, which is available to our internal team members and also our external team members. So all of our healthcare professionals, so that they can get someone to chat with or talk to that helps them work through some of those feelings and things that have come up over the last couple of years. Charles, I'm going to pass it over to you because you had a really interesting story on that.
Yeah, thanks. So I've spoken to so many nurses who say that they have these moments and they don't know what's going on, and they just kind of maybe freak out or have this overwhelming anxiety or just any of those kind of things. And I asked them, I was like, "Wait, do you think it might be PTSD?" And they more often than not, I didn't think about that. It's like, well, you're seeing all these things, you're going through all this, I mean, stuff that we really as humans aren't supposed to see. And from my background, I was in the Marine Corps, and I do suffer from PTSD, and have used actually our EAP program to talk to counselors and things. And it's amazing that we actually offer that not only to the people who are on staff or recruiting or, the DVPs, it's straight to our nurses, and I always tell our nurses about this program because it's phenomenal. You have somebody to chat with who is a licensed counselor and can talk you through some of those things, especially when you're like, I just don't know why all of a sudden I can't move. I saw something and I just can't get over this. I don't know why, and they're amazing. So it's pretty incredible that we have something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for sharing that, Charles. It is really important that our healthcare professionals across the board are able to take care of themselves. And that's something that we take very seriously. It's part of that recruiter relationship too. And I know, Sarah, you were going to talk a little bit about that, just the recruiter relationship, what the benefit is for that with our clinicians. We'll talk a lot during this program, really all of ours, about that technology piece and how great it is for you to do the work when you need to. AMN Passport, if you don't have it downloaded already, is definitely the way to do it. But the other piece is really your recruiter. So Sarah, talk to me a little bit about that.
Right. So, I mean, I think that's what really sets us apart is the touch piece, right? So we've got the high tech in gear and making it easy for our clinicians, but it's the touch that I think really sets us apart, that we communicate ongoing with our clinicians. And so many of the recruiters, all of the recruiters on my team have real relationships with the nurses and the healthcare professionals who they're working with. And it's personal to them, and they know what's going on in their lives. And it's not work. It's not it's just what makes us who we are. And they love it, and they do a phenomenal job of taking care of the whole nurse.
Yeah.
Not just the staffing, but
not just the staffing, which is important. And it's important for us, of course, to have you working, because that is a big piece of it. But to your point, Sarah, it's really about the whole person, that entirety. Charles, I saw you come off mute. What are you going to add there?
I was laughing because it is so personal that sometimes I wonder, I'm like, am I in a relationship with some of these nurses? Like, I have them call me and be like, well, you haven't called me enough. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have other people to call too. But it's great because you get to know them, you get to know their personalities and stuff. And I'm 100% with Sarah on that.
Yeah. And I love that. And that's such a big part of this forum, is really being able to get those questions, connect with all of you on a deeper level, and really help you understand travel nursing as a whole, but then what we can offer. Yvonne, something to add?
Yeah, I was going to say, for me, just learning about the clinicians and knowing what they want has helped me really find the best suitable places for them, because the more we know about them, the more interest that we know, then we can really help place them in the best places that's for them. So that connection piece is huge, and it has really helped me grow, and I think so many of us, because making those connections not only builds a relationship but really gets them in the best place for them.
Yeah. It's that continued career growth. And we'll talk a little bit about that adventure piece that you're hinting at too, Yvonne, and where can we find a position that really fits. So just another reminder, we're going to answer a couple of questions that are here in the chat. So reminder again that we do have an amazing giveaway: Kindle e-reader with case, Roku streaming stick, a Keurig mini, and a weighted blanket. So lots of really great stuff to give away. It is one winner only. So make sure that you put those questions in the chat so that you can have a chance to win. Sarah, any thought? Just excited about the prize
Well,
packet.
if you have not experienced a weighted blanket, I invested in some for everyone during the pandemic, and we all slept better. It's just,
I love it.
it's like security. So
It's like just having a nice warm hug.
yeah.
I love it. All right, so some good questions. Miss Evelyn was asking through going through job offers and all kinds of good stuff. Evelyn, I will direct you to our AMN Passport app. If you haven't downloaded it already, you'll actually have all of your contacts on the app as soon as you either get logged back in or log in for the first time. So you can reach out to your recruiter. Jobs are changing constantly, and I'm sure each of my 3 recruiters here can tell you that. Jobs are constantly changing. There are a ton available out there for you. So give your recruiter a call so they can get to know you a little bit better and then help guide you in the best way possible. If you don't have time to call right now, that's okay. You can also just search for jobs that are currently available with specifications that you want. So definitely download that AMN Passport app. Theodore Stanton is asking about, Charles, do we have any jobs in New York City?
Yes. We definitely, if you're more like on short term too, right now we have 8 weeks assignments, surge rates. So it's going to be great. We'd love to talk to you about that. Like she was saying, just get on the AMN Passport and somebody will call you if you're looking for New York. I promise you, we are looking for New York nurses right now for sure.
I love it.
And
And
if
Sarah?
you're not traveling to New York, maybe you live in New York already and you're just looking for a local gig, home for the holidays, taking a break from travel. We've got needs in New York too. So the local division is here for those short-term and per diem gigs that can be 13 weeks just to picking up a shift or 2 a week. So
I love it, Sarah, and good plug on local. We're going to talk a lot more about that. We know our clinicians are looking for flexibility in the workplace, right? They're really looking for something different. So a lot of you, whether you traveled with AMN Healthcare or traveled with a different travel nurse company, or maybe bopped around to different ones, have been all over the country and pretty intense time. So maybe it is time to take a little bit of a break, but as much as we all would love to just take 13 weeks or 6 months off, I think we mostly have bills to pay. So Sarah and Charles are nodding with me. So you can pick up some of those additional pieces, but this kind of tailors us perfectly into something, Yvonne, you were going to talk about. We have a lot of clinicians that are just feeling that burnout of, gosh, I just don't really know that this is what I want to do anymore, or I've been in the ICU and I just really want to transition to something different. And I don't know what that is and I don't know how. Yvonne, talk to us a little bit about home health and where that's coming in.
Yeah, so I've been fortunate enough to be a part of this great group that we are bridging to home health. We're, really listening to the needs of our clinicians and hearing that they're burnt out. And I personally, as well as my team, we've all heard of, what else can I do? So we, as an organization, have come together with this great bridge pilot program to help those clinicians that want to change and are interested in home health. So we're paying them out in beautiful Southern California to learn home health, to learn some home health, and also just really get acclimated with a preceptor. And it's just a phenomenal opportunity because there isn't anything like that right now in the market. And there is so much interest. And as the market continues to shift to home health, it's allowing our travelers, other travelers, just nurses and bedside to take that leap of faith and go for it and learn a new specialty. And my best friend, who is a home health nurse, really is the one that got me excited about this, because she was an ER nurse for 18 years and did the switch. And she loves it. She loves that it's more personalized. She loves that she's running her own schedule. So it really drove me to, go down this path, because I think it's such a great opportunity. And the ones that we have gotten to transition over, they're excited, they're happy, and what better place in Southern California to do it? So
Yeah,
I'm
especially
super
in the winter
excited.
time, right?
Yeah, yeah. And to get paid to learn, I mean, I wish someone paid me when I was in college. Like I didn't get a paycheck. I had to work to.
I know, absolutely. But it is just such a great opportunity to transition. So Yvonne talked about her friend transitioning from the ER into home health. So whatever that looks like, and maybe it's just expanding your skills. We also know that a lot of our healthcare professionals are just looking for new opportunities to continue to grow. And growth is something that we talk about internally with all of our AMN team members, but it's also top of mind for all of our external team members. We want to be able to provide those opportunities. If you are a brand new healthcare professional, brand new nurse, early in career, we can definitely help you there. But also, what does that look like after you've been in practice for a little bit? So some really cool stuff. I'll hint that in one of our future AMN Lives, we'll talk a little bit more about that with some of our clinical team members. So make sure that you continue to stay tuned. And all my recruiters are nodding. They'll probably join too. I have a great question from Michelle. Thank you, Michelle, for the question. I live in Canada. Charles, do we recruit nurses from Canada?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the biggest things that we're going to be looking for is that you got your NCLEX done. So again, get on that AMN Passport app. Let us reach out to you, or just say that you're interested in a job, and we will get in touch with you. We will explain the process and what we're looking for exactly. We actually have some people who work specifically with Canadian nurses and clinical team to help with that too. So yes, absolutely we do.
Yes. Big resounding yes is what you're hearing from Charles. And we do have experts in those areas to help. So even if your particular recruiter that you're matched up with is not an expert in Canadian travelers, we can definitely get the help that you need. Some great assignments and lots of different positions. Sarah, what about with local? Do we work with Canadian nurses?
Not at this time. I mean, we do partner with other divisions within AMN Healthcare that are working with international, outside of the States clinicians. So if we can help you, we can find somebody in-house who can.
Yep,
so
definitely. So if you're not in Canada and if you're someplace else internationally, as Sarah is mentioning, we do have our O'Grady Payton brand that can help get you into the United States. We have lots of positions that are available and lots of different places that need you. So please feel free to reach out. We are happy to talk to you. All right. So taking us just back to what Yvonne was talking about with home health, we also talk about early in career nurses. Just what does that look like for you? And Charles, we hinted about this a little bit, but talk to me about, you get a clinician on the phone, you build that connection. Why is that so important? And how does that help your particular nurses that you're working with?
So, I mean, just going back to what you were saying about like first time travel nurses or brand new nurses, I in particular love them. All right. They're great. They're excited. They want to go see the world. Well, the world that we offer, right, in the United States. Would love to send somebody to Paris, but maybe Paris, Texas, right? But we love building that relationship with you, mainly because we want to know you. We want to know what your interests are, because we are the experts on all of our facilities and where they're located at. And we want to be able to get you to a place. If you say, I love hiking, right? Well, we're going to find you a place, that you can go hiking. If that's what you're looking for, we want to be able to do that, but we can't do that without really getting to know you. So we're going to spend some time just talking to you, learning about you personally. Do you have kids? Are you married? Are you not married? And really wanting to invest that time so we can just tailor your experience, right?
Mhm.
We want to make sure that you get exactly as much as we can offer to you.
Right. And in the right locations, the right areas, maybe things that you haven't thought about before. We love sending our healthcare professionals on that adventure. But Sarah, I know I'm going to come to you in just a second. That adventure might be in your backyard, and that's perfect as well, just as a stepping stone or as that time off. And in the spirit of just thankfulness and gratitude, some of that is really just us being all of us being aware of how we're feeling. And maybe it's time for an adventure. And that's how you can really thank yourself for everything that you've done over whatever the course of your career has been, but maybe more specifically over the past couple of years. Take that time to yourself. Call Charles or Yvonne if you want to take a travel assignment someplace else, and just try a new experience, right? Sometimes that just helps us clear our minds and get into a better headspace. But Sarah, sometimes that just means coming back home, and being close to our family and our friends and just that support system in a different way. Talk to us a little bit about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thank you, all of you, for all of the work that you've done and all of the traveling and the taking care of all of us through the pandemic the last couple of years. If you're ready to come home and regroup and recharge and be close to your family and just step back into your familiar, local might be the option for you, and picking up a gig, whether that's a full-time assignment locally at home or some per diem shifts. So that's definitely an option for our clinicians now. And we're seeing huge jumps in business and opportunities for our clinicians, more than we can fill. So we've got this space that we're trying to fill these clinicians. So there are definitely opportunities out there for local, come home for the holidays.
Yeah, come home for the holidays. You still want to get that extra money in your bank so that you can buy all those amazing presents, maybe for yourself.
Treat yourself.
Right.
That's what my grandmother used to say. Treat yourself. Yes.
Yeah, totally. I am really good at holiday shopping for myself. It's usually what I say.
The older I get, the better I get. But yeah, so I mean, come over to local. I have a team of about 7 recruiters right now who are top notch. We have many more in the division, but would be happy to connect if you're looking for something local. So
yeah. And that's all part of just taking care of the entire you. So wherever you are in your station of life, in your career, in your mental or emotional state, we want to be able to provide you with services or these wonderful people to really help you get to what that kind of perfect space looks like, or maybe it's not quite perfect, but it feels better and you feel comfortable. And I think what you've heard all of my recruiters here and managers say is just that level of support. We want you to feel supported in whatever that means. So definitely make sure. Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
I think that we're able to do that too, because AMN takes care of all of us. So, AMN is here to support us through our lives while we're going through things. And then it's also for the clinicians too. So we want to be that whole solution.
And something, I love that. And something that we talk about a lot is that our clinicians, our healthcare professionals are really, they're team members to us, right? They're part of the team in the exact same way. You're out in the world. So I would say that you're doing a really big job. But as far as the benefits that are provided to you, we want to make sure that you have those EAP benefits, that you have really good and competitive healthcare benefits, that it's not only for you, but it's for your family. So lots of great stuff that we could probably spend tons and tons of time on. Charles, I did see you come off mute. Anything to add to what Sarah was saying?
I can really relate to you nurses so much when it comes to wanting to go back home and understanding that. I've deployed before. I wasn't, doing what you guys did, but I was away from my family, so I can 100%, understand why you'd want to stay local, and go back home, especially during the holidays. So absolutely a great thing that we can offer is that local piece.
And then when you're ready, new year, new you, back to travel. Or maybe you take a look at that home health transition and what that looks like for you as well. Also, Yvonne mentioned it's in Southern California. I know, Sarah, you're in Pittsburgh and there's a blizzard right now.
It's snowing. It's snowing.
I'm pretty sure it's 72 degrees outside here. So definitely a great opportunity and time to travel there. So we do have another question from Michelle. And then just one more plug before we pick our winners here. We do have an awesome giveaway for a Kindle e-reader and a case, a Roku streaming stick, which is super handy when you are traveling. We have, I have to remember, the weighted blanket, which Sarah is a huge proponent of. And then also that Keurig mini so that you can get your coffee fix. So you get snuggled up with your weighted blanket, you watch your favorite TV shows, or, maybe you just read and hang out there, and then you're good to go, right? All right. So we will
take care of yourself.
Sarah's ready.
I'm ready. Self-care.
Yes. Michelle, good question. Is the accommodation that is provided shared? Yvonne, I think you can answer that question about, do we share housing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have lots of opportunities when it comes to housing. In fact, I always, when I'm talking to clinicians that need help, we have an internal bulletin board that recruiters will use to kind of help. And I've had success with that. So that's super helpful. And then we have resources as well. Airbnb is always a go-to, and other things that are out there as well. So yeah, just definitely ask your recruiter, your consultant. AMN Passport has resources on it as well. Definitely always a place for everything.
Thank you, Yvonne. And then for our provided housing, Charles, I saw you come off mute. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I was gonna just touch on that. We'll definitely get you some housing, and you're gonna have your own studio apartment or one bedroom, something like that. It's not gonna be a group of you together. We'll get you, unless you want that. And we do travel pairs and triplets and as many as you can bring. So yeah, if you want to share with people, we can do that too. However, if you're traveling by yourself, you'll have your own place to go to.
I love it. Thank you, Charles. So, Michelle, the answer is no, it is not shared. And there's lots of other things that we can provide you when it comes to that. But Sarah's nodding her head too. So if you're at home, then you're
when you're at home. Yeah. And then there are some local opportunities too that facilities, I'm working on an account up in Boston that in the greater Boston area that they have housing available for some of their clinicians just because it's Boston and it's winter.
Yeah.
So everything it looks different. There's not one size fits all. There's lots of opportunities.
Lots of opportunities, lots of options. And I think that's probably the biggest piece for just that partnership and communication with your recruiter is that's what we get to learn about you. What are the things that you need? What can we help you find? How can we support you so that you really feel like you have the best experience ever? So let's see. We'll give it just a couple more minutes here for any additional questions in the chat. And then I can't believe we're at time to wrap up here. How that happened, I don't know. But I always like to ask at the end of each of our AMN Live Q&As. I didn't prep you guys for this yesterday, but if you could travel to one location that we actually support, either have local assignments, home health assignments, or traditional travel assignments, where would you go and why? Charles knows.
Yeah, Hawaii.
Oh, I was going to call that first, Charles.
Yeah, that's why I hit my button fast. Yeah, absolutely Hawaii.
We have a local recruiter who is in Hawaii, who owns the market there too. So,
nice.
Brooks,
yeah, I would say Hawaii.
Brooks.
I would say Hawaii mainly because I've been there a few times, but the travelers that I've already sent there love it.
Yeah,
they absolutely love it. And they said that they have like the day and night shift things like the normal, but they also have like different rotating shifts where not only do they get to do stuff during the day, but then they'll switch their shift and then they get to do the nightlife. So it's like a really cool experience for them. So that's what I would do.
Yeah. And Hawaii, I think we talk about all the time. Hawaii is a really good travel assignment to take for the experience. If you're looking to make the most money that you possibly can, Hawaii is probably not going to be the spot, but 100% for the experience, like Charles is talking about. That is the place to be. So I love that. Yvonne, I saw you come off mute. Are you feeling the Hawaii train like Sarah and Charles are?
I am, but I do have to say San Diego's right up there. Even though I lived there for 15 years, I would still go back because I feel like you could get a little bit of everything. You can go to Big Bear and get some snow. You could go to Temecula and go to the casinos. You could go to the wineries. You could go to the beaches. Like you literally can get everything in San Diego.
And the
Yeah.
money.
And there's money
And the
and it,
food and the
Yummy
ocean
food.
and
Yep.
and it barely rains.
I love it. So yes, definitely top places. Sarah, any place else that you would tack on there as some place to travel to?
oh, Pittsburgh.
Love
Pittsburgh
it.
is a great place, and I know that we don't get a great rap, and I live here, and I've been in Pittsburgh for 20 years. We've got some new clients up here, and besides Steelers football, you have all four seasons, and so it is snowing today, but a few weeks ago it was gorgeous with all of the leaves and the colors, and in the spring everything is blooming and it's almost like you're sitting in an emerald. So
I love it.
Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
I love
I
Pittsburgh.
will say, Pittsburgh does get a bad rap, but if you go there, people love it there. So
Yeah,
be on the lookout.
the
Yeah, it is
bridges, the
really
rivers,
pretty.
the
There's
art
lots to
scene. There's a
do.
lot
There's
going
good
on.
food there. Yeah, so I love that. And we do have some really amazing clients that are in the Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania areas. So add Pennsylvania to your bucket list if it's not on there. I'll second that, Sarah. And I know Theodore talked about New York City, always a bucket list place for sure, and so many great opportunities there right now. So I will wrap us up. And announce our winners. So, Michelle, kind of not a surprise with all of the questions that you asked us, but Michelle, you are our winner. You can collect your prize by direct messaging us on our Instagram page, which is at AMN Nurse. So, again, at AMN Nurse, DM us with your shipping information and we'll get you this amazing package. And then make sure that you get on Passport so that you can connect with your recruiter and we can get you over here on an assignment. So, or feel free to send your information and Charles will just give you a call. But we are so excited to have had you all here. I'm thrilled to have had this conversation with you all, my panel, to just share our thankfulness and gratitude for our healthcare professionals at whatever state of travel, whether it be traditional or local, or maybe you're transitioning into this home health kind of area. Maybe you've never traveled with us before, but you're thinking about it. Or maybe you just have never traveled and are not thinking about it. You just joined our podcast. I'm also so thankful for you. So just thanks all around. We hope you all enjoyed. Feel free to send us any questions that you have and enjoy this season of giving and know that we are here for you no matter what you need. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.